Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, a senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. Well, hokey smokes, it is a brand new day. It is wet and mostly overcast, though, boy, it's pretty overcast right now. Taking a look at the edge of my curtain, no sunlight at all coming through there, so it's pretty gray outside. Thumbs up for that. But I went for physical therapy, and when I was filling out the forms, I was like, I don't know why I'm here. I know it's physical therapy, but I don't know if it's for my heel or for my neck. And I had to go up and ask. And this particular appointment was actually for my neck. So that's good. Along with the nerve compression, because of all sorts of other things, I have a lot of muscle guarding going on, so my muscles are really tight. Back when I first injured my back, 2003, everything got super tight, and I had to have massage and all this, and it took a lot of work to get things so that moving again. Well, things have slowly tightened up over the past 20 years. Nowhere near where they were before, but tight enough to cause extra pain just by moving my head to the side, which even with my nerve compression, I shouldn't have. So, gonna have physical therapy twice a week for 15 sessions, and if the people feel that it needs to go further, then they can make an extension and we'll go from there. So thumbs up for that. Now I just have to work on my heel because oh boy, another day where it hurts from the sole of my foot up around my heel, up my leg, and into the middle of my calf. Everything hurts along that path. Oh boy, nerve compression. Bone spurs are so much fun, let me tell you. Thumbs up for that. But I am alive, and that's a good thing. So, such speaking, I have mostly pulled up over here. I have 2 packages that are arriving today, or supposedly arriving today, and one arriving on Sunday. Now, very early this morning, I got a robot phone call where a robot was asking me questions to make sure that there was no fraud going on, because there was a $1,140 charge that they wanted to make sure was not fraud. Did I, say it was okay? And yes. So now, finally, on my order thing from Amazon, arriving Sunday. And they took the money out of my checking account. So the computer has been paid for. It is on its way. The one thing that I did not look for, didn't even pay attention to, I'm trying to call it up because I'm on the wrong thing. Everything I looked at, I'm going to read this to you because it's all parts of the spec, even though the way they game Amazon, they make it part of the name of the product. But it is from iBuyPower, Trace Mesh, gaming PC computer. It's got an Intel i7-14700F. It's got an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060 Ti, 32 gigabytes of DDR5, 5600 RAM, or at least with a DDR5, terabyte SSD, Wi-Fi ready, and I have no idea what the power supply is, how many watts it puts out, and how close it is to the line for giving all of these components their power. Nor do I know how much draw there is because of that. So when I get this thing, I've got to make sure the power supply ain't going to just burn out. So I need to look up the information on that when it shows up and then see if I need to order a power supply. But everything else on this I am pretty happy about. It's RGB, big deal on that. But the funny / silly goofy part about this, when I was doing all this stuff, even up to like my last computer, I believe, before I tried to upgrade it, motherboards were usually pretty big. So now in this picture, it's a desktop unit, big old case. So it's got like this much room inside of it. And the motherboard goes right up here in the corner. Little tiny thing. And everything in it looks, it's vast, empty, and cavernous. My last machine, as big as it was, because of the size of the motherboard, everything was cramped. So, hey, how about that? But again, just need to, when I get it, check the power supply. Individual tiny things like that. I mean, there's screws and screwdrivers. I can do that. I can replace a power supply. One component isn't bad. I can replace a power supply. I know how to replace a graphics card. Little stuff like that. I can put in a new Wi-Fi thing, new network card. I can do things. Except for the big stuff, like changing motherboards and putting in chips. Stuff that requires actual troubleshooting. But the things like a power supply, that's big and lumpy. I can do that. Yay! But that's the computer. It looks good. I saw that thing. I read up on the other stuff on it. Like it's got 3.1. It has 6 USB 3 ports. I've never had more than like 1 or 2 USB 3 ports, so I'm happy with that. I mean, there's like USB 4 that's out there now, such like that. Big deal. But the computer looks good, and they throw in a complimentary mouse and keyboard. Then the things that should be showing up today, because all the other equipment I have is old, and the parts of it are put in different cases, hidden away in my storage unit. I ordered a new microphone and a new webcam. They should be showing up today. Are they from companies I've really heard before? Not especially. One is a Nexigo, the webcam, but it looked good for the price. And I looked up reviews and watched somebody do an actual, here's the camera, sort of, I'm recording it and we're doing tests on it sort of thing. And he was like, yeah, it's not perfect. It's, budget. But for that, it looked pretty good. And then this one, it's a Fifine USB recording microphone kit. So it's got the microphone, it's got a screw-on arm, it has the pop screen, it has the USB cords. That was like $40 for a kit. And the people that I also, again, watched the reviews, they were doing the recording on the equipment and talking about what I've used Fifine stuff before, and this is what I think about this stuff. So it looked good. That stuff should be showing up today. So come Sunday, when hopefully I get it all put together and determine whether or not it's going to catch on fire because of the power supply, then I'll be able to hopefully get all started with things again. I want to do startup reactions one more time. See about doing that. There's all sorts of music that I want to listen to and react to, and there's music even now that I'm afraid to listen to because I want to have a blind reaction to it if I'm going to have a reaction to it. Plus maybe some other stuff, like videos, movies, anime, and have to edit those badly to get the copyright done. So we'll see what happens. Thumbs up for that. Now, let's see if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about, because there was. I've talked about my appointment. Now I'm talking about the computer that's going to show up. Here we are. This is the other thing that I wanted to talk about. I mentioned the other day that I watch Mr. Craven. I used to watch, if we're going to watch, I'm going to talk about YouTubers for a little while, mostly horror game YouTubers. I used to watch the John Wolfe. Now, John Wolfe got kind of tired of doing just LPs of horror games, because he's been doing it for like forever. And so he's been doing a lot of real life stuff, as in not, playing games. And so I don't watch him much at all. But then the person in the comments, and I can't remember who left the comment, I am so terrible at this, they talked about how, yes, they watch Mr. Craven and the one person, Manly Badass Hero. Now, there's another person that I kind of watched periodically, but they started doing more other things. It was, it's a tongue twister, Ambiguous Amphibian. But of the two people mentioned, Mr. Craven, Manly Badass Hero, I actually find Mr. Craven to be a much more cozy sort of listen. I mean, when I went to Walmart to purchase actual edible things to eat for later today, I also purchased a bag of donuts. And I ate those Hostess donuts. And since I am gluten intolerant, and one of the symptoms I have from eating gluten is, well, glutinous products stuffed with gluten in them, is I fall asleep. And which is why it is 3:15 in the afternoon. Because I was thinking to myself, come 1 o'clock, I'll start recording. No, 2 o'clock, I'll do something. And then fell asleep fully. But I knew that I was going to be doing that because I turned on a 2.5 hour long Mr. Craven video about I'm on Observation Duty 7 is the game he was playing. And just listened to him while I mostly dozed and was half awake and half asleep. And then my sister called, and I got all active, and now I'm functional again. But it was rough for a while. But yeah, I listened to him because he's more cozy. And the thing is, too, of the two, I actually enjoy Mr. Craven because he does not have a careful, modulated method of talking. When he's talking and he's talking about stuff, he'll talk about, oh, I like to drink my coffee this way, and I do that, and oh, I've got my husband here, and we're going to be doing this, and oh, now that I've moved to Scotland, and here, I'm going to go turn on the fire, and then when he gets startled, he talks and goes, oh, that got me jumping, and Manly Badass Hero is a very careful, controlled, modulated sort of voice. Now, when I say voice, I'm not saying this is an AI voice. No. I'm saying this fellow is very careful and modulated in their talking. To me, when I hear the difference between the two, Mr. Craven is talking as he plays, and then clips out the parts that he likes. Manly Badass Hero plays the game, edits it down, and then does voiceover. Is that true? I do not know. But it sure sounds and feels that way. And while that's not bad, I prefer the more spontaneous sort of, in the moment reactions rather than, well, here's what happened, what do I think? Oh yeah, this is a game about this, and as you can see, we're doing this. I still listen to him. I still have his channel. I cannot speak English. I am still subscribed to his channel. I just prefer Mr. Craven. So thumbs up on that. And past that as well, I have not been doing a lot of, I was going to say intelligent stuff, but that's not true. What I mean is more, even though game oriented and such, it's not always about playing a game, which I've mentioned before, but I'll talk about that in a moment, because one of the things I also did is I finished screening the outside, except for the bottom of this, screening the outer edges of it. So hopefully that's going to keep more gnats from flying into it. And then I've got this on the front, which is full of gnats already, but I don't want to just change it and then have to change it again, quickly, as it gets the last of the gnats finally getting sucked through it. I'm just trying to get them all sucked through, blast their tiny little corpses against the screen, and then I can change it. I'm going to put another one up just in case. But I do not know why it took until November for suddenly there to be enough bugs to be sucked into the AC unit, but not thrilled by it. But then it's almost Thanksgiving and we still have flowering plants, stuff that would 10 years ago not be flowering. There's flowering wild, weed clover. I never expected that, but here we are. So here's the world, and welcome to it. But what else do I have on there? Absolutely nothing. So I have been thinking as well on the creative and solo RPG front, trying to get timelines together and what happens, because I've mentioned there is the young Habani fellow, Danthel, who becomes friends with this young Goya fellow. And I've got the history of young Danthel, who starts off in the city, well, more town of Komat, and then, because he does not know it, but he has thrill seeker and adrenaline junkie genes that are activated, not exciting enough, moves to the settlement port town of Tuathic, and that's not enough, and ends up traveling downward with the West Adania merchant group to the new outpost of Nagrot, which is the Apani word for home. And that's where he's been and has been adventuring. Now, Connor, the young Goya fellow, his grandparents had emigrated from the continent of Stendhal, which is where the Goya have originated, up to the continent of Lanlua, where this is the land of the Dwaylen, up near the city-state of Thalane. And it is his parents that lived, and he lived in the house of, where third generation immigrant, he discovered that he has thrill seeker and adrenaline junkies because the world sort of felt like it was wrapped in cotton in black and white, until he ended up in life or death situations, very minor situations, but it was a fight, minor fight for survival, and then a face-off with someone. And that's when the world suddenly was in color, and it felt good, and the air tasted nice, and he could feel this blood pumping in his veins. And after days, it started to fade back to the gray again. So he emigrated over to the continent of Karthkog. He ended up in the settlement city of Tuathic, and discovered much the same thing, that it was different and dangerous, but not really exciting. Heard about the little outpost of Nagrot, signed up again with the West Adania merchant group because it's their settlement. Other merchants can come and do trading, but it's their outpost. And he ended up emigrating, no, not really emigrating, but traveling, moving down to Nagrod, where he ended up in a quad of adventurers who broke up when two of them ended up, it was a bit too exciting. They left to go adventuring back more up north again, leaving Danthel and Connor without a four group to go out with. So they're just on their own right now, going out for tiny adventures, just two little two-person adventures. And it is what Danthel was looking for, because down in Nagrod, in the Agranic Forest, that is like the multiverse written small, with the energies of the static energy between universes mixed with the creative energy from the inside, and a wild mix of extra universal energies just to make everything more volatile. There is a lot of stuff that happens. It is the entire multiverse, the entire world of Shensha written small. Everything that you can find in the forest is, well, there's a whole palette from the beginning of the planet, from when life first started, all the way up to the present, including everything that happened in the 600 million year long peaceful reign of the race that lived beforehand, and their over 100 billion inhabitants, and the war that destroyed them, and every possible development of every possible thing. It is a wild forest, and it's filled with all sorts of stuff that if you bring it out, the West Adani Merchant Group will either look at it and go, no, we don't think so, or, oh, how, yeah, here, we'll write you a writ for a whole bunch of money. You can make your fortune by going into the Agranic Forest at the settlement of Nagrod. Yay, thumbs up for that. So Danthel and Connor, the young Habani and the young Goya, well, young Hab of the Habani people, of the Hulat, the people, and the young Goya, the young human being, fast friends adventuring together, finding tombs for forgotten kings, and all the treasures that you may find within, or just an old, dusty, empty place with moldering bones of some forgotten king, and written words in some forgotten language. And as I lose my track of mind. My track of mind. Good Lord. Hopefully you know what I mean. If you could like, comment, share, subscribe, that would be awesome. Sharing, of course, only with people that you think would enjoy watching an old man yammer on incomprehensibly about thoroughly inane subjects. That would be awesome. Thumbs up and thank you. And if you're a Patreon patron, you are a beautiful and awesome individual. You help me out to no end. Hokey smokes. I mean, seriously. There are times when, if it hadn't been for your help, I would really be hurting. So thank you so very much. You are indeed beautiful and awesome. And everybody that leaves me a comment, well, I read every comment that YouTube shows me. I thumbs up or heart every comment that YouTube allows. And I answer as many as my nerve compression will let me. I enjoy reading the comments. Thumbs up, thank you. It is very fun. And speaking of comments, just to show the YouTube algorithm that you do, or any... I can English. I promise you. Oh my God. Ugh. Just to show the YouTube algorithm that people actually do watch these videos, if you could write into the comments Bush's best for blatant engagement farming, that would be very, very cool. Thank you so very much. And people don't have to do this, obviously. I can't force you, but when people do, thank you so much. Thank you so much for humoring an old man. It is appreciated. Thumbs up. So I'm going to edit, render, upload, and then just take care of myself for the rest of the day as best I can. Hopefully you're going to get done the things that you would like to get done. But of course, if you can't, do not beat yourself up. It's not going to help you get it done better next time. And you deserve better. So please. So, until we... until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. It's like I'll get a hiccup and a cough, and except it's not a hiccup and it's not a cough, but it chokes off everything. It's pleasant. Have a good day.